32-foot skater powered by two 500 horsepower TCM inboards. Ragamuffin and Team Hurricane. Different classes, but right now very close and some good competition between these two boats. 32-foot skaters, both of them. Here's Offshore Incorporated there on the inside as Ragamuffin and Team Hurricane go by. And we're going to go on board now with Steve Page and John Christensen to see what that looked like. So let's listen.
Stay out of fully blown wake here, and Ricky's going to shut the door.
Don't worry about it. You're all right. You're all right. Stay right where you are.
We're going to end up a sandwich.
No, we're not. We're all right.
All right.
Listen to you. You're the one that likes to run this host. Get away.
No, I just don't want that sucker coming over. Now we're all right. Okay, now.
Back to our helicopter shot now with sides. Still both very close together. Of course, they're in different classes. Running excellent in P-Class P4 Restore, a 35-foot motion powered by 300 horsepower Mercury outboard. The driver, Mr. Alan Steele from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Rattleman Charlie Haynes from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Restore P4. Lots of good competition in P-Class. In addition to Restore, we've got Patriot, Harmsco Hurricane, Auto Palace, Beach Bull, Locomotion, Venus Swimwear, High Risk, and Full Throttle. But right now, it's Mr. Alan Steele with P4 Restore. This is one terrific event here in this first annual Jacksonville Offshore Grand Prix, and Freeze Frame Video is certainly glad to be a part of this. And there's Mr. Alan Steele in the cockpit, courtesy of our onboard camera. And without Mr. Alan Steele, who really is the chief organizer of this event, this Jacksonville Offshore Grand Prix would not have taken place. For a first-time event in this area, just a terrific event, and has gone just fantastic. And we are certainly sure that this kind of thing will happen again next year, because there's been tremendous corporate sponsorship turned out for this race. Some of them have included, of course, the main sponsor is Jacksonville Big Six Chevrolet dealers. Others include Bell South Mobility, Coast 102.9 FM, Continental Cablevision, Metheny Imports Jaguar, and Coca-Cola Powerade. So great enthusiasm for this kind of racing event here in the Jacksonville area. Once again, Mr. Alan Steele at the wheel inside Restore, a 35-foot motion. Of course, an event of this magnitude takes many people to pull this sort of thing off, and Mr. Alan Steele, who is the chief organizer, would simply like to thank all the volunteers, all the contingency sponsors, all the staff people involved in working to make this Greater Jacksonville Offshore Grand Prix Festival the great success that it is. And with the success, we're certainly sure that we will have a second annual Offshore Grand Prix right here in this Jacksonville area next year. And Freeze Frame Video would be very proud to be a part of it. Alan Steele at the wheel in Restore. Back to our helicopter shot, and there's Alan Steele inside and outside helicopter shot at the same time. There are those three 2.5 Mariner outboards. P4 Restore running excellent, 35-foot motion. Alan Steele, the driver, throttle man Charlie Haynes from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Just a little recap on the race. Just